Hey, what's up, guys? It's Marco Alonso. You're listening to Finance and Coffee, a podcast where we talk about money, business, and finance in today's world. I'm accompanied by my co-host, my amazing co-host. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time,
as you guys
bro.
can see. Mr. Adrian Gonzalez.
What is going on in the world?
Yep, and we got a hot topic for today. It's been a while. How long has it been? I think it's been over like a good 2 months. It's the first podcast of the year. February 2nd.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
We should call it like, hey, hello 2021.
Yeah.
Something crazy like that.
It's been a while. It's been a long time. We got a new president.
We do have a new president, man.
We got new companies. We got new CEOs.
Mm-hmm.
We've got stocks going crazy.
I know,
because
bro.
of some kids on online. These little knuckleheads.
God bless Reddit.
God bless Reddit. GameStop, AMC. So we got a lot to talk about. But anyways, anything you want to say?
Dude, no. I mean, just I know it's been a crazy couple of months. I mean, we just had some personal stuff to deal with, and now that 2021's here, hopefully we make it great. I know that we didn't finish off as strong as we wanted to, but we hit over 10,000 downloads last year. Right?
Yeah. So we started it. We're starting on our third year.
Right, something like
We
that.
started in 2019, the beginning of 19,
yeah.
January. So in the first year in all of 19, we ended up with somewhere around 3,000 downloads.
Yeah.
Now from 20 to 21,
We had 10,000.
we had 10,000. So hopefully we can double that. So we tripled basically.
Yeah.
So that's really good. Unfortunately, not enough to get a sponsor yet. So we need you guys to help us
Soon.
out because I'm trying to be rich and famous.
That's what I'm saying,
This
bro.
broke life not for me. Oh, as you guys can see, we got a new studio as well.
Yep.
This is my bedroom. So we went from my aunt's kitchen to my bedroom.
To the
so we're
bedroom.
making big moves.
Hey,
we're
come
making
on,
big
papa.
moves. But it's fresh paint, so at least the background looks nice. So that's what's up. Anything else, bro? I mean, we got a new president.
Man.
I got some stats on that. So
Let's
Mr.
do it.
Biden, we got some regulators in there. This guy named Gary Gensler, he's to serve as Commissioner of Securities and Exchange. That's the SEC. He used to be a former Goldman Sachs executive.
Okay.
So that's who he appointed there. And he also appointed Rohit Chopra to head of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the CFPB. And he's headed up the student loan division of CFPB following the 2008 financial crisis.
Right.
So we got some smart people in there, basically in his little Justice League.
Yeah.
He's got some heavy duty guys. They tend to lean a little bit more towards the left, but they're pretty educated. So I'm just praying for the best. Hopefully they can do their thing and keep us going the same way we're on track as far as the economy.
So for some of the people maybe who don't know what the SEC is and stuff like that, basically these are just appointed officials who regulate the finances and the economy of the country.
Yeah, they manage a lot of stuff, and
Right.
I think everything that goes from like insurance to like investment, banking, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So they're pretty much the banking financial police.
Yeah.
Simple way of putting it.
Got it.
I remember when I went to go take my real estate exam, you had to learn about the SEC.
Yeah.
When I took my loan
Mortgage,
officers,
yeah.
and I know people that get their insurance license and their what the financial advisor's license, the series, Series 66 and all that stuff.
like that.
Series 6, Series 6 and all that stuff. You basically learn about all these guys. So I mean, they got a lot of textbooks if you want to read into these things, but I wouldn't recommend it because it's mad boring. But anyways, that's basically one of the first things that he did when I saw as far as finance, how that's what Biden did. So I'm hoping it's going to be a good outcome. So we'll wait and see.
Yeah.
We got a lot of things.
We do, man. So what's going on with? Well, this is something that we always talk about. We're always updated with because we just like it. But our next point really is like a private company. So now we're out of the public into the private.
Yeah.
So what's going on with Apple right now?
Yeah. Well, the biggest news that I think is this whole Apple car.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This whole thing that this rumor came out that self-driving cars and Apple is moving forward with a self-driving car. It says it's targeting to make its first car by 2024 to produce a passenger vehicle that could include its own breakthrough battery technology. People familiar with the matter told Reuters. 2024, Apple's coming out with a car.
These bastards.
You like the idea or no?
I don't know, bro. I don't know if I do. I mean, we're talking about a software company, right? Well, really a hardware company. iPhones,
Software tech,
software
overall,
tech,
yeah, okay.
right? Getting into the car industry, I don't know. I mean, I guess when people like Elon come in and now become the richest people in the world because they own Tesla, which is overvalued, by the way, but we'll get into that later. Personal opinion, I guess.
Okay. All right.
But Apple trying to get into it, I don't know, bro. I think that they dominate a lot of the areas that they're in, a lot of their sectors.
Okay.
I think there are a lot of sectors that they don't dominate. Like,
Okay.
for instance, they're trying to break into, which we talked about, the streaming services, like the Apple TV, I think it is, Pro
Right.
or whatever it is.
Apple TV. Trying to compete with Netflix
Yeah,
and HBO Max.
I don't
and
know,
all that
man.
stuff.
I've never got into it. So this whole car thing, electrical, I mean, I get it. Cool. Good for them if they make money, but I don't know how I feel. How you feel?
I'm going to go with no.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the
Same.
hell no. I don't like the idea
Hell
of it.
no.
Yeah, I don't like the idea. I think they're not genuinely or personally. I
Yeah.
don't think Apple's gonna get into the car business,
I
but I
agree.
do think it is somewhere where they have to get into. Now, I just want to explain. I
Okay.
want to explain myself.
Okay.
The reason I don't think Apple can get into it as far as like making their actual car is because in my opinion, the transportation business is a big, completely different business. It's not even within their realm. And I'm talking about the actual car. I'm talking about the tires and the rims and the frame and all that stuff. It's like, it's not the same thing as creating a phone.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, they have experience with that. They've been making phones and technology, computer parts. That's not the same thing as like now trying to compete with like a Ford or like a GM or something
Yeah.
like that. I think the entry that they're trying to make is really in the software because I think there's no debate. You know, self-driving cars are the future.
Right.
And what powers a self-driving car? Software.
Software,
So I think it's really about getting into that race where Apple's going to be like, oh, listen, I want our software, iCar or whatever they're going to call it, to be the software that powers self-driving cars and transportation and, you know, inner city subways or whatever the future is. So I really think that's where they're going because I don't see Apple starting to make a factory where they're going to produce the tires and the rims and blah, 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 or get into that whole chain where
Yeah.
they're going to have to start managing and doing that stuff. I see it as a waste of money. Like,
Right.
in order to make these things and get all these chains, it's expensive.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's billions and billions of dollars. Don't
There's
get me
a-
wrong.
yeah.
They have cash.
And it's a lot of overhead.
Yeah, it's a lot of overhead, a lot
Yeah.
of management, and a lot of expertise that they don't already have.
Right.
So it's like, why can start getting into competition with Ford and all of them when you can just partner up with them and say, hey, listen, let me get with BMW or Mercedes. And I just picked them because they're like
Yeah.
the luxury ones. And be like, listen, for your self-driving cars, let us
Have the
do the
software.
software. Make us your software. And then Mercedes and whatever just gives them a bunch of cars.
Yeah.
So they can just play around with it and come up with the software because that's really where I think it's going.
Right.
I also say that because I saw an article here that Trump pardoned ex-Google convict Anthony Lewandowski.
Okay.
Now, Anthony Lewandowski was the head engineer of the autonomous car driving project at Google. Because Google has their own self-driving
they
car
do,
thing.
yeah.
So this guy basically stole their information and tried to make his own company. And he pretty much did. And then,
Thrown to jail.
Yeah, now he went to jail and Trump. So I don't have all the details. I don't know exactly whether he did do something
Right.
wrong or not. But the point is that this goes to show like how deep all these software companies are going into. Now, personally, I think it's the next big thing.
Yeah.
And I know I say that all the time. But realistically, if I'm saying, like, I don't think our phones are going to get much better.
Yeah.
You know, the next big thing is going to be in the self-driving sector. And again, that's where tech can come in. There's another thing that I think Microsoft invested, I don't know how many, like, I think it's like 20 billion. I think it's GM or somebody, one of them partnered up.
Right.
I'll bring up stats later. They partnered up with Microsoft it's Microsoft and I think it's like GM or one of them where they invested like 20 billion in, again,
Into
this
the self-
project of
right.
software. So I think it's really, that's the next big race where it's not so much the self-driving, I'm sorry, it's not so much the electric car, but it's a self-driving car.
Right.
And who's going to dominate that space as far as the software. And I think that's where Apple is really trying to get in. I think with the press and all that, you know how they keep everything
Yeah.
secret. They just don't want to let everyone know
No.
that it's this. And they just, the whole, it brings publicity to iCar, bringing out a car. I don't think they're going to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, like Tesla, for example, breaking into a car industry, that's not like
It's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, it's not like a startup where you can just like
You don't just wake up and say, "Hey, I'm gonna do this today."
yeah, I mean, you
it's
need billions and billions of dollars.
Yeah.
I mean, software and stuff like that. What do you need? A couple of engineers,
Right.
Like with a couple $1 million, you can do pretty good. Car business? Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. So that's personally my opinion. My opinion. Jesus
My opinion.
Christ. It's late. Another fun stat. It took Tesla 17 years to turn a profit.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's a
17
fact.
years.
Yeah.
And this is one of the most intelligent guys. I say it took him 17 years to turn into a profit. So I just don't see it as a lucrative business for Apple to get into. They just need to get on the software.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
I agree, bro. I mean, I could see that in a lot of different ways where it's like if you have that company where, like you're saying, where they don't need to have the extra overhead, they don't need to hire the extra people. They already have the people. Like they already have the software people. In order for us to do that, all they have to do is jump in there and say, hey, let's just tell these guys to make software for cars instead of phones. And these are the same guys who do it either way. So I agree, bro. I think that's genius. Like the way that you thought about that. Yeah.
I appreciate it, bro. I have a very high IQ.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. It's not that high. I'm actually scared of taking an IQ test. I'm scared to find out it's gonna be pretty low. But anyways, yeah, no, I just again, I don't see Apple getting into it. I really put a lot of thought into this because it makes me cringe at the fact that Apple's gonna come out with a car like an iCar. Now you go to the Apple store and then it's like my car's not working, so I can't take it to the Apple store. I gotta go to a mechanic and just it's like Apple Care. Is that gonna also cover my car? Like to me, it's just like I don't want any of these two like mixing.
Hell no.
I don't like it. But I was also thinking about like how cool is this gonna be the future? Because you got the biggest tech companies going after cars and going after the self-driving like. Mm-hmm. Now it's not only going to be like the thing that actually drives a car, but imagine like the infrastructure. So like cities and municipalities and counties and this and that when they make their
roads,
and when they start creating that, it's like I think that's really where they're going to want to. It becomes kind of like an operating system.
Yeah.
So it's like, but for self-driving cars. So it's not only the software in the car, but I'm sure it's like tolls. Like the thing about it, like there's going to be no sump pass. We're from Florida. If you're not from Florida, it's just something we have. I don't know if they have it anywhere else. But like some pass or tolls when you go from city to city, it's like done with that.
Yeah.
Like the car has a software and it's going to register it through the tolls and cities. And it's going to be a little bit freaky because it's like they're going to be able to see where you are. And, obviously the software is going to have an IP number so
Big
they can
brother.
track you.
Ooh,
exactly. It's
man.
Exactly.
That's a whole nother conversation.
I know, right? But I was just thinking about it because I got so deep into it where I was like, yo, but it's a reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I don't care if they track me because there's nothing, nothing, like impressive about I got nothing interesting. I got, but I'm saying, but like it's crazy that now they can really track you wherever you go. But it's like there's no coming back from that. It's like once you got driverless cars, DUIs don't exist anymore. You don't need the accident, and all that stuff.
It's just a bigger liability for these companies now because now they're in charge. Like I heard once. I think somewhere in California, it was like the first death of a Tesla automated driving car.
Yeah.
Where it's like they got into an accident and the guy died or like set on fire or something like that. So now these companies are going to be liable for that. So it's like if they do pursue this route, which I think they will, which I think you're right, like what standards do these people have to live by? Like their liability, their lawyers, all their disclaimers that you have to sign. Like whenever you freaking sign up for a bank account or like to buy a laptop, there's like 300 pages of disclaimers that we don't read. It's like, oh, by the way, if the laptop blows up in your face.
It's a big liability for these companies. You're right.
So that's also something to think about too.
You're right. But the good thing is like it's better for the liability to be on them because it's like eventually it's going to be taken over by software.
Right.
So software, it's going to be bugs in the beginning. I think in the future they're going to square it out. But guess what? No more car insurance. Because it's like, well, we don't drive. We're not, the human error is not going to be a factor anymore. And now I'm talking about, 10, 15 years, hopefully maybe sooner. But it's like human error is not going to be a factor anymore. And that's really the biggest driver of like, insurance.
Car insurance.
Human error. So it's like car insurance isn't going to exist anymore. Driverless cars, Uber, might be affected by this. Or they can be the main go-to.
Sure.
It's going to be, it's going to be interesting. I genuinely think that the self-driving car, that whole industry is going to be the next big thing. You know how like this whole area was the whole internet, social media. It's like self-driving cars. It's going to be the next big thing because there's such a industry and so much money behind just the the driving, where it's insurance, mechanics. It's like the just everything that involves that industry just moves so like billions and billions of dollars. That's up for disruption as soon as you can get from A to B without even
Yeah,
touching the steering wheel. And I think that's pretty impressive.
I agree.
Yep.
I agree, bro. So, guys, that's pretty much all that we pretty much have for this episode. So we appreciate you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we hope that you tune in next time. Thank you
Thanks
so
a
much.
lot, guys.